Hey there, this is Susanna. So how about the neck pain from all that computer work? Is it even possible to improve it with stretching? Yes, absolutely. Neck pain in most cases come from bad alignment, usually when your postural muscles are collapsed, the shoulders and the head moves forward. The same thing happens when we are just staring at the phone. Just look at this picture. If the head weighs 4.5 kilos in a good position, moving it forward into a bad angle, its weight might increase to 22 or 27 kilos. Of course, your neck muscles will get tight and more areas like shoulders and chest are being involved. And that is why today I'll show you 3 stretches that target all of them. It is maybe not quite easy to find a good stretch for trapezius, but with a series of sophisticated alignment methods, it is possible, and I'll show you how. So let's start sitting on the heels. If you are not comfortable in this position, you can put any kind of support under your hips, in between your heels, and just sit on the top of it. 1 block, 2 yoga blocks, cushion, whatever that works for you. The target here and the point is to be able to sit upright. Okay, so when you are sitting on your heels and your spine goes like this, not a good idea. Okay, so sit upright with a nice engaged lower back curve. Now we're going to stretch the arms forward, bend your elbows, and bring the right elbow inside of the left elbow. Now, hook your forearms, if possible, bring your hands together. If not, even this is fine, okay? And let's target the trapezius. So, spine is upright, lower back curve is there. That's very important. Now, pull your elbows up. Now, forearms forward. See how I'm moving my wrists forward? At this point, you feel the attachment to the scapula, okay? And now, start to pull your shoulders back. And the stretch you start to feel it more here, in between your shoulder and the neck. Again, as with all the stretching exercises, take at least 5 deep breaths. Stay focused. Even here, what you might want to try is to shift your breath to the backside of your rib cage. Feel with every inhale the shoulder blades moving away from the spine, expanding the backside of the rib cage. That will help you to expand and stretch those muscles that are tight. After 5 deep breaths, you just release and we're going to switch sides. So again, stretch your arms forward, spine is nice and upright. Bend your elbows, and this time the left elbow goes into the right. Hook your forearms if possible. Elbows up, forearms forward, shoulders back. Ooh. 5 deep breaths. Expanding your ribs to the sides. Pulling your shoulder blades away from the spine. Expanding the space in your upper body. And then slowly release. Okay, in the next one, stay in the same position. You probably seen the side stretches for the neck thousands of times, but maybe you haven't seen how we can even go deeper within this stretch. It's a simple and easy stretch, but it's about playing with those angles. So again, spine is nice and long, hips back, lower back curve engaged. Rib cage expanded to all directions, especially feel the fullness on the back side of your rib cage. With your right hand, hold your head from the left side. So bring your right hand on the left temple. And now bring the head to the side first. Keep your ribcage nice and full and start to pull your left shoulder a little bit more back. Observe how the stretch travels more on the front side of the neck. Then when you move the shoulders forward, the stretch, you might feel it more on the side or slightly on the back side, but not there yet, okay? Now slide your right hand on the head, more on the back side of the head. Keep this angle and look at your left knee. So you bring the head down, and this is what will hit the trapezius big time, especially the upper part, the attachment that goes up to your head to occipital bone. So look at your left knee and pull your left shoulder back. Again, 5 deep breaths at least. You can play with that angle, bringing the head like chin closer to your chest, looking at your left knee, pulling the left shoulder back. Inhale, come back to the center. Let's do the second side. Left hand on your right temple. Bring it to the side first. Ribcage is nice and full, lower back is engaged. Pull the right shoulder back. Feel the stretch more on the front side of your neck. So it's more here in this area. Shoulder as well. Now slide your left hand more on the back side of your head. Lower your head. Keep the same angle. Just bring the chin closer to your chest and look at your right knee. Now move your right shoulder back and feel the stretch of the upper side of your trapezius with the attachment on the occipital bone. 5 deep breaths here. And bring it back to the center. Lovely freedom on the neck, right? So the third one will be full chest and even the arm stretch. You will feel a relief in the fascia of the whole arm and chest opening. As I said, when the neck and shoulders are tight, it usually affects all the muscles that are attached to your shoulders, which means also the pectoral muscles. They get shorter and the breath is compromised. So let's open that up. What you will need is just a piece of wall or a window frame. So place your left hand on the wall in the same line with your shoulder. Okay, so the same height from the floor. Now, it's important that your shoulders are not collapsed, that your posture is not collapsed. So you can soften your knees and lift up your rib cage. Pull the whole rib cage to all directions. First, expand the back side of the rib cage, first of all, and then pull it up away from the hips. So there is nice space in your waistline area. Okay, left hand on the wall. And what we're gonna do here is the inner elbow, which is where the elbow usually bends, turn it up, facing up. When you do this, you realize how the whole shoulder moves back and it starts to open up your chest. Okay, so this is not all. Now what we're gonna do, push the left hand against the wall and start to walk your feet to the right, twisting your hips and pelvis to the right. So basically now my hips and my pelvis is facing the opposite direction from the wall, okay? But my left hand is still pushing against that wall. My inner elbow is pointing up, which is stretching and opening my pectoral muscles, the chest. Also, the more you push against the wall, the more connection through the fascia you will feel up to your fingertips. It's really a good one. I really want you to keep a good posture here, because when you stretch your knees, you might end up in something like this, where the chest is collapsing onto your lower back, creating compression. Don't do that, please. Soften your knees, bend them forward, and lift up the back side of your rib cage. So the posture is nice, and also it increases the connection through the fascia of your arm, and it will stretch beautifully. So again, 5 deep breaths. Then slowly release, and let's do the second side. Now this time, right hand on the wall. Rib cage goes wide and away from the hips. The waistline is nice and long. Press your right hand against the wall. Turn the inner elbow facing up so the shoulder moves back. Start to walk your feet away from the wall to the left, twisting the pelvis. The right hip is twisting to the left. So the more you twist your hips, the more you're going to stretch your chest. Press against the wall. Keep your knees bent. Keep your ribcage nice and full. And press against the wall to get that stretch up to your fingertips. 5 deep breaths. And then slowly release.